Imagine controlling every single gateway through which 95% of countries' international trade flows in. I mean every container, every import, and every export. All those ships from China, Europe, and the Gulf, they all have to pass through you. Now imagine just acquiring such a gateway, just for only $39.5 million. That's exactly what Gautam Adani did in Tanzania. And this is only the beginning of a much bigger story, one involving billions of dollars, the US bribery indictment and presidential cancellation, and one man's bold attempt to build the port empire across Africa. I'm Mariam Keza, and welcome to Billionaires.Africa. Before we even talk about Africa, let's first understand the man behind this ambition. Gautam Adani is a 63 years old, worth about $72.8 billion, and he leads one of the most powerful infrastructure empire in Asia. But here is what makes his story very different. He didn't start rich. He started with almost nothing. He's born in 1962 in Ahmedabad, India, into a family of 9 children where money was very tight. And at 16 years old, he dropped out from school and moved into Mumbai, India, one of India's financial capital. And his job was just sorting the diamonds. And mind you, he's a teenager working with his hands, learning business from ground up. And by 18, he started trading diamonds independently. And by 21, he returned to Ahmedabad to manage his brother's plastic business and import chemicals. Then in 1988, at 26 years old, he found what would become the Adani Group, starting a simple commodity trading company. What happened next is extraordinary. Over 3 decades, Adani transformed that small business into a global infrastructure powerhouse, spanning ports, airports, power plants, transmission lines, data centers, cement, and even defense manufacturing. His company, Adani Ports, now controls about 44% of India's containerized ocean trade, because nearly a half of all goods that moves in and out of India by sea go through his port. And his strategy was very simple but very powerful. He identifies infrastructure countries desperately need but cannot build fast enough. So what did he do? He finances it, builds it, operates it, and catch the long-term cash flow. And yes, it worked in India. So he's bringing the same model in Africa. And this is where Adani's story in Africa begins. On May 31, 2024, Adani's port APSCZ signed a 30 concession with Tanzanian Port Authority. And yeah, the deal gave him a control of Container Terminal 2 at the Port of Dar Salaam. This terminal have 4 berths, capacity of 1 million container per year. And can you imagine, in 2023 alone, it handled 820,000 containers, about 83% of Tanzania's total volume. And this is not just a terminal, it's a backbone of the country's trade system. Previously operated by Houston Port Holdings, the concession expired and Adani stepped in. He constructed the deal through a UAE-based joint venture, East Africa Gateway Limited. The partners included Adani Ports Group, Abu Dhabi, and East Harbour Terminal, Tanzania. For a 95% stake, the price? Just $39.5 million. Now here is why those numbers are very shocking. The Port of Dar Salaam handles 95% of Tanzania's trade, but also serves landlocked countries like DRC, Uganda, Rwanda, Zambia and Malawi. And hundreds of people rely on these goods flowing on this port. So whoever controls this terminal controls critical piece of massive region supply chain. And Adani understood this very early. He didn't stop there. At the same time, Tanzania was discussing a $900 million power transmission deal with Adani Energy. Ports and power, the same model that worked in India. So his son, Kerani Adani, made it very clear. Africa was becoming the center of their goal of becoming one of the largest port operators in the world by 2030. If Tanzania showed Adani at his best, Kenya showed what would happen if everything goes wrong. In March 2024, Adani Airport proposed a deal to upgrade and operate Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, East Africa's business airport. The plan was $1.85 billion investment, new terminals, second runway and expanded infrastructure. In return, an 18% equity stake after a 30-year lease. At the same time, another deal was signed. $736 million power transmission project with Ketraco. The total value was $2.5 billion. Initially, the Kenya government was fully on board, but the backlash was immediate. Airport workers threatened strikes. The Law Society filed legal petitions and civil society groups went to the court. Their concern was lack of transparency, no public participation, and risk of giving control over a major national asset. The High Court suspended both deals. Then come through the turning point. In October 2024, the U.S. Department of Justice revealed a criminal indictment. The allegations: over $265 million in bribes across 5 Indian states to secure solar energy contracts. And more, Adani allegedly raised $3 billion from U.S. investors while hiding this information. The SEC, or SEC, filed a separate civil charges. Within days, President William Ruto cancelled both Kenyan deals. And just like that, $2.5 billion is gone. Raila Odinga called it a major disappointment. By February 2026, the cancellation was officially confirmed. And this isn't the first Adani's controversy. In January 2023, Heidenberg Research accused its group of stock manipulation, accounting fraud, and the results: over $100 billion whipped out in the market value in days. And Adani responded aggressively. Sold some assets, reduced debt, built investors' confidence. India's Supreme Court later dismissed call for further investigation. But this US bribery case is a little bit different and is still ongoing and unsolved. The allegations span multiple Indian states and major solar contracts. Adani denies everything. As for early 2026, he and his nephew Sagar Adani have accepted legal notice and they have 90 days to respond. And this case is still active. And it matters especially for Africa, because governments are no longer just evaluating infrastructure deals. They're evaluating risk, legal risk, political risk, and reputational risk. So Kenya learned this a very hard way. So where does this leave Adani in Africa? Tanzania active and operational. Kenya was completely cancelled, but the expansion hasn't stopped. In May 2025, reports showed Adani was exploring new projects in the following parts of Africa: South Africa, East Africa, and West Africa. As for April 2026, no new deals have been confirmed yet. Now every African government faces the same question: is Adani's ability to deliver infrastructure worth the risk that comes with him? Tanzania has said yes and gained the functional port, while Kenya has said yes and lost everything overnight. And the answer to that question will shape whether Africa becomes the following: a core pillar of Adani's empire, or a region where ambition outran the reality. So Gautam Adani started as a teenager school dropout sorting diamonds in Mumbai, and today he controls one of the most strategic ports in East Africa. He has survived a $100 billion market crash, a global short seller attack, and a US criminal indictment, and he's still expanding. Whether you see him as a visionary or a controversial figure navigating dangerous territory, one thing here is very certain: Africa is on radar, and Africa should be watching very closely. If you found this very valuable, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. But if you want to get a deep insight about this story, feel free to visit Billionaires.Africa. I'll see you in the next one.